Hello there and welcome along. The Gardener Ben here with your next rose review. A very eagerly anticipated review from myself today that has been requested quite literally hundreds of times over the last 3 or 4 years. This particular rose went into the ground around a year ago, and if I'm honest, this rose is not for me and I don't think I'm going to be keeping it. This one is Rose New Dawn, basically the founding father or founding mother of all of our perpetual climbers. This particular rose, everybody talks about a huge amount, but I'm really not getting on with this one, and I'll tell you why. The colour for me is completely washed out. It doesn't hold this shell pink at any stage. It opens this lovely shell pink colour, which is almost translucent, very soft and delicate, but very quickly heads to this wishy-washy apple white, which doesn't really have a huge amount of character to it. It balls terribly in the rain. The buds are very pointed. You can see here if I bring close into the camera, they're very pointed. So the first splash of rain or a cold damp night and New Dawn tends to go into a ball and go really brown. It burns in the sun, and you can see it's been hot over here over the last couple of days, and the blooms look really untidy. They look like they've been fried. Although the temperatures haven't reached anywhere near what they said they would, this is about 25-26 degrees in dappled shade, and it just simply looks untidy. It's been plagued with black spot, mould and mildew. As you can see, if I bring this one in close to the camera, it is absolutely riddled with mould at the moment. Not getting on with this climbing rose whatsoever, and if it doesn't buck up its ideas, it certainly won't be staying in my collection for very long. But New Dawn, bred and introduced out of Jersey in 1939, is the parent plant or the parent seed of most of our perpetual climbers that have been bred on them in modern years. And if this is what the standard of roses that actually this was the founding father or founding mother of our perpetual climbers, this is probably why there are so many of them are so weak, so characterless, and really don't have a great deal of oomph in them. It's weak, it's spindly. I'm not really getting on with it at all. It's producing plenty of flowers, which the green fly and the white fly seem to like. But I say New Dawn for me is a little bit characterless and a little bit meh. I don't understand. I don't know the way of saying it. If it held this shell pink colour, I think I would really like it a huge amount more, but it doesn't. It either bleaches out in the sun or it bleaches out in the wind and the rain and doesn't really do very much at all. Reaching around 14 to 15 feet high, it is a repeat flowering rose. It does produce plenty of blooms in succession, I say, but you're going to need them because they spoil under all weather conditions. Foliage-wise, it is very dark green, high gloss and shiny in its form. There are a small amount of barbing to the back of the leaf axils. But as I say, if this is what all of our perpetual climbers are shied from, no wonder so many of them are so characterless and so weak, and I'm not really getting on with very many of them at all because I don't like the parent plant. The buds are, say, shell pink with a small amount of apricot. Very similar, if any of you are familiar with Scarborough Fair from David Austin Roses. Very similar bud and very similar colour to Scarborough Fair. Yeah, very all round. When the flower actually opens, the colour is fairly strong. You can see this one is really struggling to open. There's a nice collection of golden stamens in the very centre there, but this plant, say, not something that I'm going to be keeping in the garden unless it bucks its ideas up. I'll probably keep it for another couple of years. Thorn-wise, thorns are present in all parts of the plant. They are quite large and quite sharp. I'm going to be registering this one with a medium thorn count. Disease resistance, this one is going to be ranking fairly low with myself. I'm going to be scoring this with a 5 for disease resistance because it's, I say, not standing up to very much at the moment at all, balling up terribly in the rain, scorching in the sun, riddled with black spot, mould and mildew, so it's going to be scoring a 5. I'm not picking up on any fragrance whatsoever on this rose as well. Again, all the websites I've looked at to gain information for today's review, as well as my own personal observations, say this has a medium strength fruity fragrance. There's virtually nothing on it at all, so it's going to be lucky if it scores a 2 out of 10 for fragrance rating myself. All round, I'm feeling that this particular rose has probably had its day, and due to its year of breeding is probably not going to be performing particularly well in our climates. I say it's a bit untidy. Don't really particularly like the form on the flower, the look on the flower. The petal count isn't really high enough for me, and it's not really low enough for me either. Just looks a bit untidy. It looks like it's been sort of caught in a wind tunnel and knocked about a little bit. So this one is Climbing Rose New Dawn.